Hey there, I'm Nick Grant, and we're going to be talking about technical SEO. Now, I'm the founder of Tourism Taught, which is a travel marketing company. And before that, I helped take another company from about 3 million users to well over 5 million users, largely through digital marketing. Now, something that I want to emphasize on for technical SEO is that it doesn't have to be overly complicated. If you're a non-technical business owner or business manager, such as like a hotel owner, hotel manager, or a tour guide, a restaurant owner, etc., don't be scared off by the technical term. In fact, it's actually quite simple. Technical SEO is quite simple. There's really three main key factors that you have to think about. The first one's site speed. How fast does your website load? Is there any images or pages that are lagging? And then the second thing is responsive design. Does it look good on mobile? Does it look good on desktop? How about tablets? The third thing is the crawlability and the indexing of your website. What does that mean, you ask? Well, can Google find you? Can search engines find you? Do search engines know that your website exists, right? So the indexing, the crawlability is like, hey, can a search engine find your website, and then are you showing up in the rankings, right? Are you getting indexed in the rankings so you show up in the searches? So we're going to jump into crawlability and indexing first, because it's by far the most important thing when it comes to technical SEO. If you're not showing up in the rankings, then you're getting zero traffic, right? If your web page and your website's not appearing, then the rest of your SEO efforts don't quite matter as much, because you're just not going to get traffic if Google or other search engines don't even know you exist. So you might be thinking to yourself like, well, gosh, if I don't exist, how can I exist? How can I get indexed and crawled by Google? And it's actually quite simple. So Google has what's called the Google Search Console. This is like a SEO Fitbit. In the Google Search Console, you can see everything on how your website, performs and how it's doing, such as like which keywords, are you getting traffic for? Are you getting impressions for, right? Where are you showing up for the searches? Which pages are performing best? So it's really like the well-being checker, the Fitbit for your website. That's Google Search Console. All you have to do is, go to Google Search Console page. We'll put a link down below, and then click Get Started and connect your website to it. And from there, you can do what's called submitting a sitemap. A sitemap is kind of like a family tree of your website, right? So a sitemap, usually, you'll have your website domain, and then it'll have like the forward dash, sitemap.xml. And that's how you can discover your sitemap. You can also go through your content management system to do it. But essentially, it's like a family tree, starting with your homepage, and then like your pages, your posts, and other categories, and so on. And it just lays out like the structure of your website, which pages exist. Now in Google Search Console, you can submit a sitemap for Google to crawl and index those pages. And if it doesn't index one of those pages, you can request for indexing. So really, that's the best way to troubleshoot it. If there's other issues such as redirects, 404s, you can find information and sources on how to fix them within Google Search Console. So it makes your life a lot easier. The second thing outside of crawlability and indexing is the site speed. So this impacts your SEO because it impacts your user experience, right? If you search for hotels in San Diego, and someone clicks on your organic ad that's showing up in the search query, and they come to a website where the images aren't loading, they can't see what the hotel looks like, or a page doesn't load, they're just going to leave it. It's going to have a high bounce rate, low amount of time spent on the page, and it will be bad for the overall user experience. And when users come to your webpage and leave, it hurts your SEO. So site speed matters a lot. A lot of times you can compress images to make it load faster, make sure they appear. And there's a handful of other things. I'll put a link down below in the in the comments in the description section of a tool that you could use to get insights on your site speed. one that's actually provided by Google, so it'll be very resourceful, and they'll help you figure out what things you need to change to improve, your site speed for both mobile and desktop. Lastly is, responsive design. And it kind of goes back to the same thing, or the same explanation in site speed, right? If your website's not responsive, if it doesn't look good on mobile or desktop, then it's really going to hurt your user experience and people will leave. If Google knows that people are having a bad experience on your website, then you're going to start ranking lower. You're not going to get as much organic traffic. So how do you optimize for responsive design? It's quite simple. Just make sure things load, make sure everything works, right? The functionality's fine, and that looks good. So all what you should really do is, you could use Google's inspector tool, or you can use responsive checking tools for quality checks, but you just need to do like a quality assurance. Every now and then go on your website, see how it looks on mobile, see how it looks on desktop, fix any visual errors. And when you create a new page, when you make an edit, check it out, quality check it on both mobile, desktop, and maybe even tablet too. And if there are any issues, promptly just fix them. You want to get rid of any visual errors because you want a seamless user experience. So in conclusion, just make sure that your site's being crawled and it's getting indexed by Google and other search engines. Make sure that everything loads fast and that no images are lagging. That's not slowing down the load speed of your website. And then lastly, just make sure it's responsive. Make sure it looks good on mobile and desktop. That's all that really is to it. I mean, that's the basics of technical SEO. Sure, can it go a lot deeper? Are there a lot more complicated aspects of technical SEO? Yeah. Do you need to know that stuff? Not really. And if that stuff comes up, I would just hire an SEO agency to take care of it for you, or a consultant off of Upwork. Heck, you can even hire us. If you have any comments or questions, just leave them down below and I'd be happy to answer them and help out in any way I can. I look forward to sharing more content with you. Thanks.